Long before Toy Story came to the theaters, I wrote a children's book called Left Behind. It was based on a true story. My daughter had been to a local toy store with her grandparents. She was carrying a little stuffed doll that she adored. The doll's name was Jandy. It was a baby Cabbage Patch doll before Cabbage Patch dolls became that popular. While she was looking at all of the possible toys and puzzles and books and games in the store, she set the doll down at one point. And then, going on her way up and down the aisles, following her brother following her, Jean and Bryce, her grandparents, close behind, ready to purchase whatever it was that they found. Jandy, the baby Cabbage Patch, was left behind. She came home. She was delighted with what she had found. She and her brother played games. I'm sure they read books, probably put together some puzzles, enjoying all the wealth that a little kid gets when they have the pleasure and the honor to go to a toy store with a grandparent. It was around bedtime when we discovered that Jandy was not with us. We looked in the car. We looked high and low in her room. We looked under the bed. And then we realized that the problem was that Jandy was probably left behind at the toy store. And from that little incident, I wrote a short picture book, probably 750, 1,000 words, called Left Behind. It was about the toys in a toy store coming to life after the lights are shut off. And one of the toys, as I remember, was suspended from a light fixture or some other ceiling tile. And they came up with the idea, these toys, that if the toy that was hanging from the light fixture, if it would swing back and forth, it might get up enough momentum to push Jandy into an aisle where it would then be found the next day by a store employee. Recently, I've been cleaning out a lot of old files, and I came upon a narrow file box with hanging files and manila folders and printed out copies of some of the old stories and books and all of the writing that I used to do. Back in the day, I even had a dot matrix printer that printed on that continuous feed paper. Left Behind was one of those files left behind in my file folders. Now, this isn't a project that I ever really planned to follow through on, especially after the monumental success of the Toy Story franchise. It would feel like I was copying something so successful. And yet, I do wonder if I had acted on it back then, if it could have turned into something different. Left Behind. For you, as we're working through a month of ghost projects, I want to suggest a quick graveyard audit. Go through some of your old files. See what you can find that still sparks some joy, some interest, and see if you can put it together, cull out some of the best parts, maybe salvage what you can find, as if you are going through a graveyard and stealing the best parts from some of those old, long forgotten and buried projects. A next step can be to jot down a micro plan that would integrate some of those ideas into a brand new project, breathing new life into it, giving those old skeletons a new body, a new form, kind of Frankensteining it. Often our previous lives that were rich in one phase, in one part, have very, very valuable, interesting tidbits. We all move on from things that we have worked on, but we don't have to always abandon them. See if there's something that you could harvest from the graveyard of your files. Your creativity is ongoing. It has a history. It has a time before. And it also has a future. The only time that you can ever really act is right now. Look through your old files, your old portfolio. Maybe you have prints somewhere. Maybe you have old garments that you might be able to revisit. Half-finished projects. Maybe there's a woodworking project that is not finished, and yet the bones are still there and still valuable. See if there's anything that you can take from your past and from the graveyard of your files and rekindle it, rework it into something new. By jotting down a micro plan, it gives you an action plan. The shorter, the more focused, the more intense your work, the better and stronger will be the product that you might come up with. It's a great way to harvest from what you already have and breathe new life into it. There is a mind shift involved in this. Every abandoned draft has bones that you can rebuild on. Every abandoned project has bones that you can rework and reshape into something brand new. Left behind, no longer. The story of Jandy, left in the toy store. We did go back the next morning as soon as they opened, and Jandy was already sitting next to the cash register. The first employees into the store must have noticed this slightly worn, slightly dirty, cute little doll and brought her up knowing that the owner would have missed her overnight. That's it for today. The quick graveyard audit. Join me another day. Follow me. Subscribe, like, you know the drill. And I can't wait to inspire you again. A biento.